Coming up to 22.5 minutes past 7. Well, it is a hot topic at the moment, how to keep children safe while they're travelling in cars. In the past few weeks, as you'll know, a number of children have been killed or injured after not being properly restrained in vehicles. Well, joining us now is car seat technician Catherine Kruger, who believes children should be using car seats until the age of 11.
Yes, I do.
That will be a bit of a shock to some parents out there with older children. Why is that?
That's because we tend to think of car seats like these as baby types of things, and parents are in a hurry to get rid of the diaper bag and the pacifiers and all those kinds of things. And they think of car seats that way instead of saying, this is the safest thing I can do for my child. I should use this as long as humanly possible.
When we say age 11, is it a height thing rather than an age thing?
Well, it's both. If you took a 5-year-old, would you put your 5-year-old in this pair of shoes? They're too big, right? And we inherently know that. And with children, when we put children in the adult seatbelt, we see that the shoulder belt doesn't fit well. But equally important is what's happening down here on soft tummy tissue instead of bones. So I brought a little skeleton in to show you what that really is all about. If you think about the fact that there are places where we're soft up here and places where we're hard, and the bones are the places that the lap and shoulder belt should go. Shoulder belt across the shoulder and lap belt across the hard bones. When kids slouch because they can't sit comfortably, then that belt rides up into that soft tummy tissue, and it is such a common kind of injury in the United States. Our doctors in the emergency rooms call it seatbelt syndrome, and it's that squeezing of those internal organs.
And that, I guess, can happen. We're not even talking about major accidents here, but we're talking about a quick slamming on of the brakes because another car comes in front of you quite quickly. When you're talking about car seats for, say, kids aged 10 or 11, are you talking the ones with backs or are just booster seats okay?
We're talking about a booster seat, a product like this that by its very design holds the lap belt down across the top of the legs and adjusts the shoulder belt for a good fit. And it's really important we not talk about this as equipment for kids and babies, that we talk about this as the safety equipment for older children.
So they're using something like that, but still an adult seatbelt. This is not the 5-point harness that we do associate with our younger kids like we've got here.
Yes. Because race car drivers will use a 5-point harness, and they're clearly doing something dangerous. But when we're over here and we've got a lap and a shoulder belt for the child, that is the child's safety protection. And what we're doing is giving them a junior version of the adult seat that will fit them and make them bend their legs properly and hold the belt well.
It's kind of convincing parents. I guess it's also convincing children, because a lot of kids, like you said, at age 6 say they don't want to be in a car seat anymore.
That's very true, and this is the first generation of children we've had to convince. You not only have to convince mom and dad, but you have to convince kids as well. So we use this little snack cake in the U.S., and we call it Twinkie Physics, and we have the kids hold that in their hands and say, okay, if we stop quickly and you squeeze, what happens to that in there? And the kids will say, oh, it's smushed. And you say, but that's what can happen when your belt's in the wrong place. So this just makes sure that your seatbelt stays
in the right place. And also, you're the parent. You can tell them what to do if it's for their own safety, can't you?
Absolutely. There is no airplane pilot that says, wear your seatbelt if you feel like it. We're going to take off.
Exactly. How many car seats would you expect a child to have in their lifetime?
Possibly 3. Something that keeps them rear-facing for as long as possible, because that is clearly the safest way to ride, and even though it's not required by law, do it to at least age 1.
Here the advice is about age 1 now, and you would say that that is right.
Or longer, as long as that car seat will allow that child to ride rear-facing, and then to move to something forward-facing like this, and then eventually into the booster until the seatbelt fits.
Catherine, you're talking tomorrow at a Plunket, talk about safe seats for kids. It'll be interesting, I'm sure, and a very important discussion to have here. Thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Catherine Kruger, car seat technician.